How hard can it really be to make a Sonic game? I mean, 3D Sonic games have always been a mixed bag. The highs of the series can touch the heavens, but the lows can also be, well, is there like a level below hell? But game development is a genuinely colossal endeavor, and it's easy to just sit back on the sidelines and say, well, I could do that, if I knew how and tried and wanted to and got lucky and went to university and dedicated 15 years of my life to its creation. So instead, I thought I'd put my money where my mouth is, open up Game Builder Garage, and try to make my own 3D Squanic game. First thing I did was create a simple character, because in order to go fast, you kinda need to exist. I rigged up some controller inputs, added a touch of blue, and before I knew it, I was zip-zap zooming about. Whee! The only problem was that my Squanic could just run off the screen and disappear, which, whilst not uncommon in some Sonic games, isn't ideal. So I just went ahead and slapped some connections together like a child playing with Lego and just kinda prayed as I launched the game, only to find that I'd set up the camera right inside Sonic's butt, which, for some people might be a dream come true, but for us it's less than ideal. But after a bit of tweaking and twerking, I got the camera out of Sonic's butt and even managed to make my character twirl around. Not a bad start, but there's still a lot to be done. The next thing on my checklist of Sonic game features was rings. There's nothing more iconic in Sonic games than this collectible come health bar, and I also just really like the song King of the Ring. Now there's a pretty limited number of objects in Game Builder Garage, and it definitely doesn't have rings, but what it does have is hoops. Now you think it'd be a pretty easy process to place a hoop on the ground and have it break when you collide with it, but in trying to achieve this simple task, I spent 45 minutes not understanding how axes or rotation works, and this is about as good as it got. Well, shit. So I scrapped the hoop idea and went with a box because the game includes a sprite editor. Now, this would be awesome, but unfortunately the sprite editor is less powerful than Microsoft Paint. And on top of that, I was playing with a controller, and I don't know if you've ever tried to draw with a joystick, but despite the high degree of jank, it actually works really well. And if you attach it to a box and make the box invisible, you got rings, baby! Which means I have a blue character that can collect rings. We're basically done. Ship it, Sega. At this point, I added a dash and a sprint option because casually strolling around isn't exactly on brand. And then I added some launch pads and spikes, and it was all going surprisingly well. Except for a few small hiccups here and there. Yeah, at one point this ring just started floating away into space and I have no idea why. Where the fuck are you going? I started to get a bit of an ego high at this point, so I decided that it was time to do something super ambitious. One of the coolest things in Sonic games is building up enough speed to go hurtling through hoops, so I thought I'd see if I could make a hoop of my own. There are objects in Game Builder Garage that can attract certain objects and move them in specific directions, so I figured I could make a bunch of these, connect them together in a loop, and they would drag the character around in a circle, and you got yourself a Sonic. Easy peasy. This shouldn't take too long. Oh my fucking god, what have I done? Only 700 years of my life later. The only problem with my grand loop plan was, remember how I couldn't even rotate a hoop the right way? Well, this is basically that, but with a billion more elements, and the UI stacks objects on top of each other, so you can't really tell what the fuck is going on. I mean, look at this. What the hell is happening? I made this and I don't even know what's going on. However, after flinging my character into oblivion a bunch of times and a lot of stubborn determination, I actually made a janky-ass loop. That was amazing! But something was still missing. Enemies. Can't have a Sonic game without enemies. For some reason, the first enemy that popped into my head when I thought of enemies were the crabs from Sonic 1, so I tried to draw a crab, I guess. It didn't seem menacing enough though, so I gave it a knife. That's my enemy. Now I spent a solid hour trying to get some enemy pathfinding or movement happening, which went pretty great. So in the end, I opted for something a little bit more simple. The old classic, move a little to the left and then a little to the right. Timeless. It was at this point that I became a bit annoyed that my character wasn't particularly Sonic-y, so I decided to put the Sonic in Squanic. My original idea was to add a bunch of shapes to act as spines, but, well... Holy shit. Oh, no! Oh my god, I'm dying. I think it kind of speaks for itself. I refused to try to draw a sprite sheet for Sonic though, which meant I needed to turn to the internet where I found a tutorial on how to make a custom 3D model. Oh, I labored on this for days and nights. I put my heart and soul into this thing, making the best Sonic the world has ever seen. And now everyone, I'd like to introduce you all to Squanic the Hedge Squog. I was so proud of myself at this point. I had a Sonic and a proper level, but something was still missing. I still needed to make some Sonic Adventure-inspired inspirational garage pop rock. And with the music done, everyone, this is my 3D Sonic game.
With friends like these, there is nothing we can't do. Set yourself free and our hearts will stay true. Supersonic speed, a chili dog for me and you. Got to go fast while the moment still lasts.
Oh, what a journey we've been on. What an adventure. I guess the question is, now that I've made a Sonic game, do I think it's an easy thing to do? No, it's super hard, but also surprisingly attainable. Alright, thanks for watching this video. If you like Squanic, then hit the like and subscribe buttons, and I'll see you folks soon.